Hello again, my name is Ben. Here I am today with another set review. Here I am today reviewing set number 80101, the Jango Fett, which was released as like the Technic sub-theme of Star Wars. It was basically like Technic-styled Star Wars sets. It had 422 pieces. It was released in 2002, along with the other Episode 2 Attack of the Clones series sets. Retailed for $30, and let's see, price per piece of 7.16 cents per piece. And adjusted for inflation, the total cost would be somewhere around $42.76. So yeah, here it is. It's definitely an older set, the oldest one I reviewed, and I'm not really sure where to start with it. It's quite the build. First, I just want to start off with a size comparison with a minifigure. Just pull out the camera. So yeah, there's the minifigure at the bottom. You can tell it's quite large. Definitely, an immense and fairly towering figure, and I think it's pretty decent for $30, at least for the time. But anywho, let me just move that forward, take him out of the shot, and we'll just go over construction of it. It's fairly stiff, but at the bottom you'll see it's using some black Toamata feet. So there they are. Barely basic detailing. They're held in by some ball joints, but they're kept locked in place with some of these pieces. There's a lot of these Technic pieces like these used all over the legs here. They're in this color known as a violet, according to Bricklink. I don't know if it's still made today, but it looks good here. Oops. So you see a lot of them there. A lot of Technic, just a lot of Technic pieces here. More of the violet building up, some light gray, for more of the armor plating. There's no articulation here, so it's really stiff. Some parts holding it together. See, the waist is a little weirdly designed, along with the figure. It's got this weird stance. You'll see how it's just kind of at a weird bend at its torso. I never understood it. But you'll see the brown here, which is the belt, which they use some tubing here to give the curve, which I think works decently. And it's really only brown on it, which it looks a little jarring, but I think it serves its purpose. Some of these metallic silver parts here are making most of the chest plate. It just kind of has a reflective aspect to it, which I think looks pretty good. So there's that. It's fairly hollow. You can see the Technic beam in there. And yeah, it's just really gappy all around the figure. So not fond of that. See this stuff on the back. You'll see where the jetpack is supposed to be, the two thrusters right here, and the rocket, which is, whoops, I accidentally set that off. Yeah, the only real play feature on the set is the rocket, which comes out really easily. Seeing this lever on the back, if you pull it, it launches the rocket, which is one of the older styled competition cannons, not the newer styled ones. It flew all the way over here, so give me a second. It's the older style, not the newer one, the one they use similarly on things like the Tarakava, I believe, from Bionicle. So, here it is. And it fits back in here pretty simply. So, the figure will bend down its torso, and the rocket will fire off. So you'll see here, no really articulation here. The arms, they have one point here attached with some fairly basic pins, and they can move 360 degrees, if not a little squeaky. The arms here use more of the violet and use some more tubing within the blue color to get just some of that blue on the minifigure. There's really not much to say here. Some more Technic pieces. Some tiles here, which are the only brick sort of pieces here in light gray. The hands are attached onto ball joints, so they actually have some somewhat decent articulation. The guns here are fairly small and fairly basic construction, just some fairly basic Technic beams and whatnot, and just attach on the hands through these pegs. So, they both are. And the last part here, the helmet, It can move, like, I wouldn't say all the way. Just get a better look at that. You know, it can move it at least side to side. You can't move it all the way in like 360 degrees, but it would make sense too. So you can move the rangefinder down, which is nice. You'll see some fairly basic parts here. Some tubes to get the curves, and some other tubes to get the T-visor, which I think works decently. So I like the function of the rangefinder, and I guess it's nice you can have articulation here. But it's all right. And one other feature with the set, which I do like quite a bit, these portions right here are for the holsters. So you can just take off the guns and just put them down there. Both off. And you can just store the guns right there. I really like that feature. It gives it some nice, just a nice extra feature to, you know, have the guns be held there. So, you know, that I like quite a bit. But yeah, it's kind of it for the set. It's not too in-depth, wasn't too in-depth, but, you know, whenever most of the points. It's, personally, I kind of like it. I didn't at first like it because I thought it was too gappy and just looked kind of awkward. And I still do think that, but I don't know, having it, some of the functions I do quite like a bit, and it makes a fairly decent display from like far away. It's only when you like observe it fairly closely that you'll see some of the flaws. The lack of articulation is a bit of a shame, but for what it does have, I do like quite a bit. You can have it in fairly basic posing, but the poses that you do have it in aren't terrible. But yeah, for what it's worth, I do kind of like it. Do I recommend getting it? Not really. The aftermarket price is, some places you can find it for pretty decent, some places you can't. I got mine for like $10 in an auction. It was missing the cannon on the back and the rubber band, but I was able to get those fairly easily. But for the time, like in 2002, was it worth it back then? For $30, you got a fairly decent sized set, but you might not find it particularly interesting for play. And as for display, it's decent. So it really just depends on what you feel. I'd say maybe not really. There are better sets like the Gunship or Slave one back then that were better to get. Also, something I just wanted to do here, just to maybe show like evolution or whatever. I have right here the buildable figure, a Jango Fett. Let me just get him out the frame. And yeah, he's just here so you can compare them. Definitely shows a lot of advanced, I don't know. I just wanted to show it off. I'm not sure what point I was trying to make, but I just wanted to show the two off. Definitely shows like a lot of progression in Lego's building and techniques and whatnot. Also, I have this Jango Fett figure right here. No, this is a knockoff. I'm gonna make that clear. This is a knockoff figure. It's not official Lego. It's fake, but it's directly taken from the 2002 version, and I think it makes a fairly interesting comparison with the Technic Jango Fett, because, you know, they were both released in the same year. So, you know, it makes a interesting sight to see. So, yeah, that's really kind of it for this video. I just wanted to show those off. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed the set review. I hope this is an interesting one for you people to enjoy. You know, I just wanted to show this one off because it's an older set. It's only one of the older ones in my collection, and I just found it really unique. Some of the other Technic Star Wars sets I also am a little curious to maybe get. I don't know, Battle Droid or Droidica, or maybe the Hellfire Droid, because the droids are probably the better ones that they've made. So maybe I'll get those someday. But until then, I hope you enjoyed it. And for now, I don't have too many ideas for what I'll do. Some mechs. I'm working on a mech right now. It's a work in progress. And also something else that I'll keep secret for now. But until then, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you still stay tuned until next week for whenever I release whatever that will be. And until then, goodbye.